distance courses. I'm very happy to see those hands. I want to assure you that it is very possible in this country, our continent, and the world is waiting for you. There's quite a lot of opportunities in the engineering area, in the science area, and more so what we are calling now the digital space. There is a new economy growing called digital economy, and that economy is where most of you will be working. It won't matter whether you are a teacher, a lawyer, you will definitely deliver your service or you do your work over a digital space. So we want to encourage you and wish you well, and we assure you from government side we've done all the preparations to support Ministry of Education, to support Kenya National Examination Council to ensure that there will be a smooth examination process. All the security and technology matters have been fully put in place to ensure a safe examination environment is experienced. We've talked with all our stakeholders, the mobile network operators, to ensure that the students across the country and all that are involved are able to deliver their services well. To our students, I want to lastly assure you that there are a lot of opportunities, not only in this country, but across the world. You can work in Kenya and serve the world with the kind of infrastructure that we are building. There is also huge demand for talent, and Kenya's talent is so rich and highly valued across the world. So opportunities are waiting for you. Don't let anyone tell you there could be challenges with jobs. The opportunities are so huge. So we are waiting for you. Just do your exams, knowing that there is huge opportunities waiting for you in the various careers that you pursue. Finally, again, we wish you success. We wish you all the best. I will invite one of my colleagues, the Director General of Communications Authority, so that you get to know him. We have also various other organizations working with us. I'll ask Mr. Wambua just to say hello, and then my colleague PS will come and speak. Karibu Wambua.
Thank you very much, Mr. Engineer Tomu, the PS, and just to appreciate the other seniors in the house, your fellow PSS, and other colleagues from different government agencies. Good morning, winners. I'm fine, thank you very much. I'm calling you winners because when I look at your faces, you already look like you have won. So as the previous speakers have indicated, just prepare yourselves. You have already prepared yourselves. Be calm, and the dream of being a winner will be actualized. We are working, as here, we are working with other relevant government agencies to support this important national event. And without talking much, I wish to really stop there and wish you all the best in the upcoming exams. Asanteni sana. To my PS colleagues, PS Belio and PS Tanu, and the other senior government officials representing various agencies that we've come with here, the pupils and the candidates of St. George's, good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you, I'm fine. Now, I know you have had a very long journey, and at least up to this point, you have an opportunity to go through an exercise or through a transition that takes you to the next level. And just like previous speakers have mentioned or alluded to, one is that all of you are winners. Number two is that you have done all the hard work and you are ready to pass the examination that is starting next week, and that all of us as parents, as guardians, and as government officials wish you success. Now, let me see how many of you are ready to pass the exams that you are beginning next week. Wow. Let's appreciate all of you. Now, because of time, I know you still need to go back to class and prepare. Allow me to quickly introduce the team that has accompanied me from the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. So first of all, I will start with the DIG, Mr. Gabo. Then we have Madam Beverly Opola, who is the Secretary of National Administration. We have the Regional Commissioner for Nairobi Region, Mr. Kate Wenza. We have the Deputy DCI, Mr. Kamonde. Then we have the DCC, the Deputy County Commissioner for this sub-county. Then we have the Regional Police Boss and of course the Regional Security Team, Mr. Bombay. Then I know there's Mr. Jero, who is in charge of intelligence. Then we have the DG NC4, which is the coordinating committee on computer misuse and cybercrimes, and it represents several agencies. Dr. Kine. Is there anyone I've not introduced? Yes. Then the AIG, Senior AIG, Miriam Mili, representing DIG Kanja, and of course also from NPS. I would want to ask Beverly to just say 1 word in a minute, and then DIG also.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of senior officers from the State Department, ours is just to assure the candidates that the government has not only put in place the necessary measures, but has ensured that after this, there will be opportunities for all of us. So with your permission, allow me to encourage the girls in the house that the government of the day is giving the girls equal opportunities. So it's a time to shine. And like the peers for education said, we are praying for you. Tunawatakia mema, Mungu awabariki na mshine. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, all candidates and everybody here. My name is Nur Gabo, the Deputy Inspector General of the National Police Service. Ours, as the National Police Service and Security Sector, want to assure all candidates, the country at large, that we shall deploy 65,000 police officers and security actors to ensure that the security of this exam for this year is well covered. And I want to assure all the candidates, when you see a police officer within the school compound, the only purpose is he or she will be here is to protect you and the exam. Asante. Thank you.
Thank you, DIG. I think we will basically come to a close in terms of this briefing for the students or the candidates. And finally, my point, of course, on behalf of everybody who is here and on behalf of the government, is that we are wishing you well, and we know that you've worked so hard and that you're going to excel. So as you sit through the exams, all of you need to take courage so that tomorrow you take up the spaces that we are currently occupying. So in here I see PSS, in here I see doctors, in here I see engineers, I see teachers of repute like my PS colleague. I'm also a teacher. I teach statistics. So if you manage to get to the next level, maths gets broken into other forms, and that includes statistics. So one day you become a doctor in statistics like myself, and if you're lucky enough, then you become a PS like myself. and you get to encourage the next generation. Our role as the leaders today is we create for you an environment that allows you to go to be the best that you want to be. Now, the parents, you have done all that is expected of you. You have supported all the learners, and you're expecting them to excel. There is always a lot of pressure on parents, whether your child, whether your son or daughter is going to pass. In the new curriculum that my colleague P.S. Bruno is in charge of, everybody succeeds. So there is no reason for you to be worried. There is no reason for you to be defrauded, because if you try that, part of my responsibility on the team here is to take care of criminals and fraudsters. But we know all of us are going to win, and whatever grade you come out with, it's equally important. Whether you're scoring an A or a B, you still have a role to play, and you still have the capacity to move to the next level. Now, to the last ones, you must finish with a bang, isn't it? And finishing with a bang is that starting with this school, St. George's, and Mwalimu, we expect this school to be on top, and we don't have any doubt that that is going to happen. To the rest of the country is to give you the assurance that we have put in place the necessary infrastructure to ensure we have a flawless exercise. As I finish, normally this is like a visiting day, and we are parents, so lazima wanafunzi wa kunywa soda, sio? So together with the rest of the parents who are here, we will look for the head teacher 200,000 to get for you sodas. Asanteni sana, wishing you success. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think before we conclude, you know, we have been engaging with our children. Nataka tu ule mdosi wetu ya shule. Nani huyo mdosi wetu wa shule? Ule mwanafunzi mdosi ya wanafunzi. Haya, huyo mdosi wa shule ya wanafunzi akuje seme asante. Alafu she will also give us the assurance that I would want, as I have said, that as our children we are prayed for you. So tunataka tu that assurance that you are good and you are ready. Sawa? Okay.
Our guest of honors, PSs, the PS of Interior and National Administration, Mr. Raymond Omoyo, the head teacher, Madam Kate, all teachers and pupils, good morning. It is a great honor to have all our guests here, and we are really grateful having you here, that you've given us the assurance, the motivation that this exam, for sure, the 361 we have it. We don't even have to fight over it. The 361, I tell you, we have it. What we need to do, these 2 days that you have left, we can add to those marks. And at the end, by the end of Wednesday, when we get our results, for sure the 361 will sit for yourself. St. George's, they are up there, 361, or even higher, 380 if possible. And I just want to thank all our teachers for being with us since the start till now. You have given us what was there to be given, and you have garnered what was left. And we are sure to make all of you proud, make our parents proud, and all our teachers and the whole nation proud. Thank you.
What do you say when you are given a gift, boys and girls?
Thank you.
Can we give 3 St. George's claps to say thank you? Thank you very much once again for choosing St. George's to come and speak from here. We appreciate. And once again, thank you very much. Thank you. As we disperse, I know grade 6, kuna wimbo. You sing as we go, as we disperse. Yes, that one song, Madam Fidel will tell you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, now you can put your things here. And we reduce the people kneeling down here trying to capture. Okay, thank you very much. I think essentially we have engaged on quite a number of issues, so we shall be very brief at this point. Before anything else, we would want to thank you for availing yourself for this morning engagement.
because without you, we cannot be able to engage with the Kenyan people on what is happening. We would want to give you assurance that we are ready for these examinations. We can tell you that all the exams that are required are in this country, and all the exams for CAPSOA, the assessment for CAPSOA, and the examination, the last exam for Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, are all in our containers. So we have all the grade 6 and class 8 examinations in our containers as we engage. And I would want to thank our officers, both the deputy county commissioners and the sub-county directors, because those are the custodians of our examinations. I would want to also assure all of us that the custody of our examination is good. The logistics were done, the movements were done, and so far so good. My colleague Raymond will say something about the issues of rain and the mapping that we have done. Already we know we have a few places where there is enhanced rains, and therefore we may need to enhance our logistics arrangement. But I want to assure you that as government we have put in place all that which is needed. Government has availed to our disposal quite a number of helicopters for those areas that may require airlifting, mainly in places where, one, there might be issues of security, though I know my colleague will handle that, and that there's been a lot of peace. I can say that around this time when our children are preparing for examinations. So our teachers, I have the Director of Teacher Management who is here on behalf of the CEO. I think I will allow her to say a word because, you know, our biggest army in this process are the teachers, as our invigilators and as our supervisors, as our center managers who are the principals and head teachers, and all of them. This year we have used all our teachers, including our teachers in secondary schools. This year we have our teachers in secondary schools also doing supervision and invigilation of examinations, because we wanted to optimize on all our teams that are out there. So colleagues, we want to give you an assurance that our exams are safe. You know, technology has its own issues, but we want to give you a word. I don't want to say much about technology because we have DCI, we have our DIG, and we have the Kuru in IT, our peers for ICT. But I can tell you, in whatever media, our exams are safe. I would want to assure the country that we've already put everything that is there to ensure that the integrity of our examination, both locally and internationally, is respected. So our word is that we are prepared all the way from opening the containers on Monday, and I can tell you it will be a whole government approach. You will see so many of us, our seniors, the cabinet secretaries, my colleagues, the PSS, and the entire government participating in this exercise, not because of anything, but because we would want to encourage our children that as their parents, we are with them. As we go to these examination centers, not for anything else, it is to encourage and motivate our young ones. So once again, I would want to give you a word that we are prepared for the exam. And before my colleague PSS say a word, I want to call on this Antonina, who is the director of teacher staffing at the TSC, who is representing the CEO. We engaged with the CEO last night. She is also out on almost a similar exercise in Meru and Embu to be sure that our children are prepared for this examination. And the full multi-agency team, this exam we have handled for the last 7 years, through a multi-agency process where we have the Ministry of Education, we have the Ministry of Interior, we have the Ministry of ICT and institutions associated with them, and the Teacher Service Commission, who provide the biggest force in this particular exercise. So Antonina, you can have a word, and then David Njegere, who is also the process owner, will also have a word.
Thank you, sir. and good morning everybody once again. My name is Antonina Tejoni. As you've been told, I'm the director in charge of staffing at the Teacher Service Commission, but I'm here representing the Teacher Service Commission Secretary, Dr. Nancy Macharia, to give a word and to give a message in terms of how the Teacher Service Commission is prepared in the field administration of the 2023 national examinations. So I have a simple duty to read the Teacher Service Commission Secretary message on behalf of the Teacher Service Commission. The Teacher Service Commission wishes to assure the country that all its staff and teachers are fully prepared and ready for the upcoming national examinations, and will ensure they offer all the necessary support to candidates during the entire examination period. The Commission has identified, vetted, and deployed a total of 223,223 teachers as supervisors and invigilators, and at the same time identified 71,760 center managers to be involved in management of the 2023 national examinations in all the examination centers countrywide in readiness for the administration of the 2023 national examinations. I wish to confirm that by yesterday, all these teachers have been briefed on their roles and responsibilities by the Kenya National Examination Council. I therefore direct that all those who will be involved in the management of this year's examinations and assessments will uphold integrity while executing their roles and to remain vigilant to deter any form of examination malpractice. Earlier this week, we sent a circular to all schools, to all teachers, warning against being members of the social media forums, perpetuating malpractice in the 2023 national examinations and assessment, and therefore call upon all the supervisors, all the invigilators, and the center managers to desist from exam malpractices and to ensure that the examinations are conducted in accordance with the set rules and regulations in order to deliver a credible examinations. We wish to assure the public that TSC will not hesitate to take stern disciplinary action against any teacher found to be culpable of abetting examination malpractice. I also call upon Teacher Service Commission officers to join hands with all other players to ensure that to ensure success of these examinations. As a commission, we thank all teachers across the country for their efficient work in preparing all the candidates for the upcoming national examinations and assessment. I wish all the candidates the best as they start the 2023 examinations on Monday, the 30th of October, 2023. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PS. I think as NEC, what we would like to say is that we are privileged to facilitate the transition from the 844 to the CBC at the primary school level. And one of the things that I would say has been a major success is that we have 32,000 centers for KIPSEA and 28,000 centers for KCPE. And that's a very good indicator that tells you that the uptake of CBC across the country is very healthy, because the student to school ratio for the KIPSEA is much higher than the student to school ratio for KCPE. So the country is quite ready for that transition. So for us as NEC is to ensure that the learners who are now exiting from KCPE, we process their results as fast as possible. We have 1.4 million of them. That's quite a spike. but we have put all the mechanisms in place to make sure that we will do what needs to be done so that they get their results in good time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Finally, I think I would want to assure our teachers, our center managers that we have adequately put in place measures that will make it possible for them as we start our KCSE on the 6th, the main papers, that all measures have been put in place so that as they pick their papers this time twice in a day, that they will be facilitated adequately to be able to do that. We would want to appreciate the good work and the support that we have gotten from our colleagues at the Treasury and the government. On 2 days ago, the President flagged off 205 vehicles to be used by our field officers so that we can facilitate proper support that we are going to give to our teachers, both in the quality assurance and in all the support that our teachers require in the field. I would also want to assure you that we've been able to make sure that the proximity between the collection center and the schools is reduced, and that our teachers will not be traveling long distance. This year we have added an additional 82 containers so that we can make it easy for our teachers to collect the papers. We've also increased our marking centers from 35 to 40 so that we can be able to make the marking center areas more comfortable to our teachers as they come here to do that work that they are doing for our children. I would not want to say more than that, but once again I thank you as our colleagues in the fourth estate, and we call upon you as we go into these examinations, where you come in contact with any challenge that is impacting on our examination. As a patriotic Kenyan, please let us know so that we can see how to deal with any of the challenges that may arise out in the field as we go into this examination. With those remarks, I would want to call upon my colleague, Engineer Tanui, who is the PS for ICT and Digital Economy, to also make some comments. And I know you already introduced the team that is with, but there is no harm in reintroducing the team. Karibu, Engineer.
Thank you very much, my colleague PSS. We are here today to tour this school to just familiarize ourselves with the preparations that is going on countrywide. This program is one of the most important programs for us as a country, and that's why we are working together as one. Why is it important? The biggest resource for our country is our human capital. What we are doing through this examination is preparing our resources, our young people, to be able to make contribution in their time in this country and also to the continent and also to the world. So human resource is the most important resource our country have, and now represented by our children who are going to do the examinations. And for Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy is to support, to ensure that what Ministry of Education has done, what our teachers have done over the years and the parents is facilitated so that during this examination period, the students can be able to perform, then undertake the exams in the right atmosphere and ensure that all the actors in that space are facilitated. We've talked with all the stakeholders in the ICT sector to ensure during this important national agenda, our networks be ready to facilitate and support all those who are involved, whether it's in transportation, coordination of exams, even in the most remote parts of our country, to ensure they are facilitated to be able to undertake their task. We are also aware of the many other processes Ministry of Education must undertake during the examination marking. We have put in place the necessary human resource and also supporting technology to ensure that NEC and Ministry of Education can deliver its mandate. We are very confident on the technologies that have been put in place to ensure that this examination is seamless and to also ensure that cheating is almost an impossibility, because every action that comes out would be traceable, so that we have to give our children to do their very best in these examinations without much interference from any quarters. What we are confident and what we want to assure our parents is that there are huge opportunities for our children. Let's allow them to come out in their capabilities and to be able to pursue the careers of their choice. We want to encourage them to do their very best, the students, and wish them success, but also give them assurance that there are huge opportunities within the digital space, within the country, and across the world. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. We have our colleagues from Communications Authority who are also helping us to ensure that if any incident is reported, we are put in place human resources to support. Mr. Wambua will just make one remark on the issues we are put in place in respect to that. We are working with entire sector. My colleague P.S. Kisiangani, in charge of broadcasting and telecommunication, is also in full support of what we are doing, and we have the Director General Communications Authority who can make a few remarks.
Thank you, Bwana P.S. On behalf of the Communications Authority of Kenya, we wish to assure the country that we are fully committed to ensuring that we collaborate with other agencies and government ministries to ensure the delivery of credible examinations this year. And in this respect, what we've done is that we are monitoring our social media platforms on a 24/7 basis to ensure that any forums that are meant to defraud Kenyans of money under the pretext that people are sharing sample examination papers, that those sites are brought down pretty fast, and we are working with the social media platforms themselves and DCI as well as the National Cybersecurity Center so that we ensure that the platforms are robust and resilient to deliver credible national examinations this year. I also wish to really encourage parents not to fall prey to fraudsters who are purporting to share national examination papers online. As our PSS have assured us, the examination papers are already secure and have not been released. So those who are being encouraged to buy fake and sham examination papers, kindly parents, let us give our children the opportunity to do their best in a sincere and honest manner. With those remarks, I wish to thank you.
Thank you very much once again, and as I invite my colleague Raymond, I would want to take this opportunity on behalf of our Cabinet Secretary and on behalf of the entire education sector. One is to give assurance to our children, and two is to wish them well as they go into the examinations from Monday through to 24th of November, and then through to the time that we shall be doing our marking, through to the time that we shall be placing them to Form 1 places for the KCPE ones, and the transition for the grade 6 to junior school. We wish them well, and we shall continue to do that duty we have been given of nurturing our future through our children. Raymond, karibu.
Thank you, PS. I think mine will be, first of all, to echo the sentiments of my PS colleagues in terms of giving the Kenyan public the assurance that we have put necessary infrastructure in place to be able to secure the exams. Now that includes setting up of two main command centers, one at the National Examination Council and another one at the Ministry of Interior. And then we also have a support center at Communications Authority for purposes of coordination, but also being able to respond to any issues or incidences, including emergencies that might occur over the period of the examinations. We know that we are already receiving above normal rainfall in certain parts of the country, particularly in eastern and northeastern, and we have instituted measures at the county and sub-county level. We have our security committees
and disaster and emergency response offices that are fully functional to be able to deal with those emergencies that will arise as a result of the normal to above normal rainfall that would interfere with the movement of exam materials, but also of access to the examination centers. We have equally deployed a huge number of our police officers, in excess of 60,000 across the country, who are working closely with the teachers and our colleagues in the Ministry of Education and ICT, as well as national government administration officers. Actually, we have the deputy county commissioners who man the containers where the exams are stored. And we are working under a multi-agency framework where all the players are being involved and are being engaged to ensure that our learners and the candidates go through this period of examinations with minimal, if not any interference in that process. Before I continue, allow me to invite Mr. Nugabo, the Deputy Inspector General, just to make a few remarks with regards to the arrangements that we have in place.
Oh, thanks, PS. On behalf of the National Police Service and on behalf of the Inspector General, National Police Service, we want to assure the country that police officers, as the PS has alluded, have been deployed in excess of 60,000. And we have also standby teams in every county which will respond to any incident. The police will be in all the over 30 centers. They have deployed to ensure that exam of this 2023 is a success. Ours is to assure all learners that the police will be everywhere to protect them and to protect the exam. Asante.
Thank you. Let me also invite Beverly Opora, who is part of the team at the coordination center, to also make a brief remark on the level of preparedness we have.
Thank you, sir. Ours is first and foremost to assure the country that all national government administrative officers, right from the national level to the lower level at the sublocation level, will accord the stakeholders the support that is required. That includes ensuring that all candidates are able to sit for their exams. Secondly, like our PS has stated, at the command center we'll be able to give that coordination support from the ministry and NEC and all others, especially from the counties and at the national level. So this is an assurance to the country that both the examinations and the candidates have a conducive environment for this exercise to proceed. Thank you, sir.
Lastly, let me invite the Deputy DCI, Mr. Kamwende, because his role is also very key, so that he could also make one or two remarks.
Thank you, the PSs who are here. As DIG, representing the IG, has said, we have deployed. Our business is to ensure that those who are trafficking social media messages for the exams are arrested and the law takes its course. We have already made an arrest of somebody who had opened a social media channel for enticing parents to to pay for the exams, and that is the role that we will play to ensure that no leakage of exams throughout this session. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. So as we come to the close of this briefing, it's important to acknowledge the role of every officer within government and outside government who've made it possible for us to get to this point. Starting with our colleagues at the Ministry of Education. It's not very easy that you are able to take children through various classes up to the point that they are ready to do examination. Prepare these exams, they will also be supervising these exams, and finally they will be marking and grading our candidates once the exams are done. And in a special way, as a country, we owe them a lot of gratitude for the work that they do and they continue to do. Let me also appreciate the parents who've also prepared and supported the candidates. Together with the candidates themselves, they've done all that it takes to be ready to do exams so that they can transition to the next level of their education. And our colleagues from all the other government agencies, particularly the Ministry of ICT, represented by PS Tanui, and my ministry, continue to do a lot, and everybody else, because it is in the interest of all of us as a country that when we have our learners examined, they are ready not just to serve this country, but also to serve the world. Our colleagues from the fourth estate, we continue to rely on you every so often to get the message there, to inform, and also to help us deal with disinformation. And we are forever indebted to the work that you continue to do in disseminating information. Today was basically to let the country know that we are ready for the exams to take off, and as the exams will be undertaken, whenever there are issues that come up through the command centers that I've mentioned, we will be sharing with you the contact so that we are able to get first-hand updates, but also able to respond to any situations that may arise during this exercise. Asanteni sana, and that gets us to the end, unless there's one or two questions for PS education. Yes. So let's start, Seth. Yes, and then.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes. In regards to the latest attacks in Bahio South, Katinda Primary, specifically, what do we have assurance that exams will kick off in that particular school and any other learning institution involved in that particular belt of Hyderabad, Pindasum, and that volatile area, and any other area where the multi-agency is fighting bandits. That is one. The other one will be for the PS education in regards to the recently released report by the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Education, which highlighted some of the malpractices that was found in the 2022 KCSE exams. I know you're speaking with KCP, but there are issues to do with exam exposure, prior exam exposure, students impersonation, and also students attempting to get into exam rooms with some prohibited material in terms of linkages and all that. But first, yes, maybe in regards to Kapinda. So,
Thank you.
All right, my name is Basayo Frederick from KBC. My question goes to Dr. Benedict Sang. There's a recent initiative where teachers will pick exams twice in a day. What happens in places where schools are a bit far from the teaching center? For instance, maybe I can use an example of Marsabit where the county is very vast. What happens in an instance where maybe the schools are like maybe 30 kilometers from the teaching center? What happens in such a case?
Thank you. One last question. Yes.
I have a question for Dr. Sam and Dr. Angegere.
Yeah.
This is the last cohort of ACP. From where you sit, what are your reflections on the years that KCP has been present? What does it portend for the future of the studying exam country? And I'm saying so in terms of cost and everything around.
Okay, so my question, of course, from Seth is that yes, there was an incident a few days ago in Baringo, which was a bit unfortunate, but as you are definitely, or most probably aware, it was an attempt that was dealt with as soon as it happened, and it goes to speak to the volatility of that part of the country, which we have been dealing with for months since this administration came into place. The reality is that we have been able to contain the level of volatility in that part of the country, and we continue to do that. We have a permanent presence of our security officers, both from the National Police Service as well as the Kenya Defence Forces. And part of why they are there is to ensure that we have calm, so that the people of this part of the country can be able to go about their businesses uninterrupted, including schooling. The assurance we are giving Kenyans is that the examinations will go on as planned, uninterrupted, and we are ready and willing and capable of dealing with any source of insecurity. So it's just to let anyone who imagines that they can disrupt this process, that we are ready for them and will be able to decisively deal with them. P.S. Belio.
Thank you very much. And on the question on the report from the Parliamentary Committee on Education, I think one thing that the report came out is that yes, the examination was handled in the way that it should have been handled, in terms of the professionalism, in terms of the process, in terms of what it is that was supposed to be done, and that was very important. The report also gave us very important recommendations and suggestions in ways in which we can be able to improve. One of the reasons that we are collecting this examination twice is trying to deal with some of the challenges that were there, not only in last year's examination, but in the examinations that we have been doing in the years before. The early exposure question, because that has been our biggest challenge. And one of the ways that we think we shall address it this year is when the exam is picked twice. Because the challenge that we had, the examination was picked at 6 in the morning. Sometimes it would stay with the teachers and our security teams, but once in a while there were lapses, and sometimes some of these papers would be exposed early. And I usually tell people there is a huge difference between a leakage and an early exposure. An early exposure is where you gain access to the exam the same day that the examination will be done. But one assurance that I will give Kenyans is that in the since 2016, we've not had any leakage of an examination. Our biggest challenge has been early exposure. And that is what the Parliamentary Committee also identified. And the Presidential Working Party also identified the same problem. And that is why this year we are going to pick these examinations twice. As we pick it twice, I would want to give you assurance, my colleague and friend from the KBC, is that we acquired 82 containers, additional containers this year, so that we can map our schools to the nearest container. In fact, this year, and the CEO will mention, is that we are not aligning our containers to the administrative structures, where we are saying you are in this sub-county or the other sub-county. We are aligning them to the proximity to the picking point, so that this school could be in Westlands or whichever other place, but if there is a container across which is nearer, they must not go to Westlands. They go to that particular container which is nearest to them. And one of the ways of trying to mitigate this new approach of picking it twice was to make sure that we deal with the question of proximity and that it is as near as it can be to the school. As for KCP, we've been doing it for the last 38 years. And 24 million Kenyans have done it. Quite a number of, I think almost all of us here, maybe myself and Commander and maybe Cabo and might have done a different examination. But almost 70% of the adult population today went through the KCP. It has given us the necessary experience, and as we were developing the competence-based education, we have heard a lot of assessments on the knowledge-based, the 844 system, and the way that the world is going into areas of critical thinking, areas of application of competencies, ensuring that we develop skills as we build on knowledge, because knowledge is still very important. But the most important thing is that with the CPC that we are going into and that we have already done, is that every learner's potential needs to be nurtured. Because sometimes when we do an exam like this one now of grade 8, class 8, you know, a kid who is 12 years old, when you tell that kid they have failed, they don't even understand what failure is. So what we are saying is that going forward, we need to develop every learner's potential. And that's why we are moving from examinations to more of assessment. And assessment just tells us the progress of a learner, how far has a learner gone. And that's why going forward also, we are going into a blended system of assessment where we shall have school-based assessment, which is formative, and the summative examinations, which will not be so much, so that every other time we don't make these things high-stake. That a kid who is preparing to do an exam on Monday, we really have to take a lot of care on them, because if anything happens, that is the only point of assessment that they have gone through. But with the new CBC system, we assess them at grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, and all that will count in one way or the other as they progress to the next level of learning. That is the most important thing. So those are the lessons we have learned with the KCP, with that 24 million Kenyans who have gone through it, which I have said is almost 70% of the adult population. It has given us lessons, and out of those lessons, we are trying to improve as we go to competence-based education. CEO, I think you are still the process owner, in case there is still anything else.
Thank you very much. I think PS has responded to the issues very effectively. I can only reiterate on each of the issues that were raised. The one about the parliamentary committee, I think if you read that report, you will see for yourself that the word leakage had been misused in this country. And I want to appeal to all of you that the fourth estate is supposed to educate Kenyans. So let us educate Kenyans on the meaning of the word leakage, because leakage is very serious in any examination body in the world. If there is a leakage, that means those certificates cannot be recognized anywhere globally. What we have been experiencing, as the peers have said, is early exposure. There has never been any leakage. Leakage would mean that today someone is able to share the paper that will be done on Monday. And I am sure you are able to do your investigations, and you will confirm that no one has a paper that will be done on Monday. But what would happen with early exposure is that come Monday, the social media admins would connive with some people, get the papers, upload them, then claim that they have had those papers for 6 months. So we appeal to you to educate Kenyans on the difference between leakage and early exposure. I think the PS has responded on the strategy of double collection, that we have added the number of containers and improved on the proximity between where the schools are and where the containers are. If there is any challenge, we are definitely going to address it. On the final issue of KIPSEA and KCPE, I am sure you also observed yourselves. You saw the KCP kids who are standing there and the KIPSEA children. The KCP kids were in a hurry to go to class and start to revise. KIPSEA kids are entertaining us because they already have 60% of their marks. On Monday, they're only looking for 40%. And we're also saying that KCPE has mainly been a norm referenced exam, whose purpose is purely to compare children and used for placement. After that, that certificate is not used for anything else. But with KIPSEA, everything the child does is helping us to identify what are the potentials of these children, what are they able to do, so that by the time they leave junior school, we will channel them based on their abilities. So these are two very different assessments, and I think as we move to junior school, in especially grade 9, the country will start to see the benefit of doing assessments rather than exams. Thank you.
Asanteni sana.
One last question. My name is Louis. There has not been any mention on students who maybe might be sick, and are there plans to administer examination such kind of students if they're there? And maybe is there any data on the number of students who might be hospitalized?
I I think what we've always been trying to do is to ensure that we give an opportunity to every child. But with the advice of the doctors, if we think this kid is not in a position to handle that particular assessment or examination, there is always a second chance. We shall see what to do with this last group of KCP. But in any other, we shall always give them an opportunity, but it will all depend on the assessment that the medical personnel will do, but we shall avail the examination. Position to do it, then we shall encourage them to do it, and we shall appreciate that particular situation when we go into marking, because that kid was not in the same environment and in the same frame of mind like a kid who has done an exam in one of these classrooms. So we shall always make sure that there is an equal opportunity and that each child is treated on their own merit.
Thank you.